chill. Cripple.
Epic. Phenomenal. Unreal.
Pandemonium. Boneheads, what's going on? We're back at it, chasing waterfowl. And if you don't like story time, or you don't like listening to a guy talk while he's sitting here driving, this one might not be for you, because I'm going to give you a little backstory, give you a little heads up on what's going on today. Today, I think, has three possible outcomes. One, it could be the quickest trip ever. We could be back home before sunup. We could do a ton of work and come up empty-handed, or we could have a great shoot. That's kind of our three outcomes today. And the reason I say that is because we're headed to public ground. And this is some ground that haven't scouted, haven't done anything. It's been cold, so speaking of the weather, I'll kind of give you a quick recap. The last hunt we did was on Thursday. There was a cold front and little snow system that came through. We decided to take the front end of the storm, which in the past has worked out okay for us. And we did okay. We dropped, I think, 8 ducks that day and had a pretty good hunt, considering the time before that we didn't shoot anything at that spot. That was Thursday. It got cold Thursday night into Friday. Friday we woke up with snow showers. Depending where you're at, there was a dusting up to 2 inches. And from what I heard, a lot of guys had some pretty good luck that day hunting. It snowed in the morning, it tapered off by about 11, and by noon or 1 o'clock it was sunshine out with a north wind that came in behind it. So sounds like a lot of guys had some pretty good luck. That's just the way it goes. I don't think there's anything better than shooting mallards over open water when it's snowing, but it just wasn't in the cards for us this time. So Friday into Saturday, the temperatures got about as low as they've been yet this year. I think they got down to the low teens. There was no wind at all. So Friday there was still a lot of open water from what I talked to guys and just from what I saw. And then Saturday, yesterday, everything started to get a little bit of ice on it. The wind was from the south, but I don't know if it ever quite picked up like it was supposed to. And we're rolling out today. It's Sunday morning. It's early. It's a little bit after 3 in the morning. We are just pulling into the spot, and it looks like there's tail lights there, which, like I said, this is public ground. There's guys that get out here crazy early because I've done it, so that's not surprising. I guess the good and the bad about someone being out here is, one, maybe they scouted and they know that there's open water and that there's birds and that it's worth being out here. So that could be the good news. Bad news is, I don't know if we'll get the spot we wanted, or I wanted. There's a spot that I've hunted here before. It's pretty convenient to set up on, and yeah, that was kind of plan A, but this spot stretches. It has quite a bit of options along the north side, which with this wind, sorry, I have my music on in the background, it's got a lot of options. Well, and now that I'm seeing it, I think those brake lights are quite a ways away. I don't think it's actually right here where we're hunting. So, which, like I said, could be good or could be bad. So there's nobody here. And now I'm almost even more concerned that nobody's here. That's interesting. Well, I guess it's time to go walk about and see what we find. The bad news is the ice is pretty thick. It's a little bit, it's a little thicker than I would have figured for really just the second day of having ice in a lot of these places. But good news is, from where I could break through it with the sledge. forgot a spotlight, so I can't really see out in the middle of this water to see if there is open water. It's possible this whole thing's froze up. There's no birds around. I guess that's just a risk we have to take, but it's 2 hours and 20 minutes till shooting time. Drove out this far, at least gonna give it a shot, see what happens. Good thing is I can get pretty close to where I want to set up, so I'm gonna strap on the waders, get out there, break ice, get an ice eater going, and we're gonna see what happens. It could be a crapshoot today. Tell you what, probably the reason nobody's here, because if you don't have an ice eater, you're not hunting today. That's I'll get some video of how thick the ice is, but Thursday I can almost guarantee there was no ice. There was no ice anywhere. Friday we had the snow, but it was just under the 30s. I don't think this would have iced up. I think from Friday sundown until Sunday today sun up, this ice is set, and it's thick. I weighed 220 and I walked across it, no problem. Opened up a hole with the sledge, put the ice heater in. It's 4:45, so we're just shy of 2 hours till shooting time. I'm hoping to let that roll another 45 minutes probably, and check in on it, see what kind of hole we have. And I think we can open something up to try to hunt. I don't know if it's going to be that great. If this whole thing is frozen, we're probably not even going to see birds. My biggest hope is that out in the middle of this, there's some open water. Maybe they're rafting there, or there's something nearby. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. So we're gonna hang out for a little bit and let the ice eater do its thing, see if it can't open up a pocket for us. Told you guys, breaking ice. That's what we're up against today. That's some thick stuff. Have you ever had one of those hunts where you set up and the closer you get to shooting time, the more you realize this probably is a lost cause? I think that's what today's gonna be. Ice eater ran for a while, opened up a decent hole, but there's so many ice chunks breaking off and the ice is thick that everything just froze up again. Basically, it was putting water on top of the ice, but as chunks were breaking off, it was kind of ice jamming, so the water wouldn't push out. So you can see here, that big circle there is what we had for water kicking off that ice eater. And then ice jammed up, too many chunks. You don't want to throw them all on the ice or it looks bad. And everything just froze again. So I don't know. We've got duck decoys sitting on water that's on ice, which is a recipe for the decoys to freeze to the ice, so I'll get to deal with that. We have two mojos that are in a bad spot. The ice eater runs off a battery, and so we're limited on the length that we have to run from the shore, and the cover doesn't come out real far, so everything's hugged real close. Bunch of guys showed up about an hour before shooting time, some on this side, some on the other side. When the headlights hit the water, and I'm seeing it now that the light's coming up, it's frozen solid. I thought I just saw something. It's frozen solid. And out here, there's usually a lot of birds, and usually at first light you see a lot of birds flying. You might not get to shoot them, but you see a lot flying. I haven't seen anything so far. The only thing falling down is our optimism at this point. So that was a rooster. I guess we just get to hang tight, and if not, we get to enjoy a good Nebraska sunrise. I don't want to be the guy that picks on the weatherman, but they predicted 10 to 15 mile an hour winds out of the north and cloudy skies. Does it look cloudy out? Does this stuff look like it's blowing in 15 mile an hour winds? No. There's a duck on the ice. I thought it was a clump of crap all day. It's been there since light up. It's gotta be a cripple. That's a full-size duck. I don't know what it is. Question of the morning. This clump has been sitting on the ice since first light. It's been there all morning. I thought it was a dried or a frozen clump of crap or grass or something. I just got up and started walking. You never know what you're gonna run into on public ground. The guys are right around the bend too that are hunting. So this thing sat there while I used a sledgehammer on ice, cranked on the ice heater, unloaded all my stuff, set up. And I was just walking ashore. There's another group right around the corner of that point. He's gonna walk right into him and probably get his head shot off. That duck will never make that mistake again. Never fails. Group around the corner just had two of their guys walk back to the truck no more than 3-4 minutes ago. One mallard comes in, the group across the way starts calling. He circles and sets up perfect for these guys just around the bend. Wings cupped, come in. I bet they didn't have more than a 30-40 yard shot. And they shot 6 times with him in front, never got him. And then threw probably 2 or 3 more Hail Marys at him. Didn't get him. Can't make fun of him because I shot like that last time, so it just sucks though. We need one of them to pull that over here just so I can prove to myself I can hit a bird. And no one's killed that mystery bird that walked into the weeds yet. We might have to check that out. There's a reason we call this bonehead waterfowl. I'll give you an example. We're not going home empty-handed today. So, what happened? This bird took a look at our spread. No goose decoys out. Found a goose call in the blind bag and just started hammering on it. Some of the best goose calling I've ever done. Worked him. Finally got him to commit. Gave him a couple of clucks there at the end, and then pulled up right when he started to flare at the edge and made a great shot on him. That would have been cool if that's what happened, but it didn't. Remember the mystery bird out in the middle of the ice? Found him. A little lesser goose. He weighs about as much as a mallard. That's why I was so... Our other guys all left. The spread around the bend, I didn't want to mess with them, so I don't even know if they saw it. I think they would have went after it, but took Ace, walked, and he can fly. He must be, I'm guessing he's crippled. I don't know, but he hopped up just fine and started flying a few feet off the deck, and I was able to drop him out on the ice, and Ace went out and got him. So hey, I'm happy. That's a good hunt. If we come out here and you told me I could shoot one goose regardless of size or what, I'd take it. God, he's got to be this year's bird. Not very big, just a young one, but hey, it's better than nothing. And the reason we call it bonehead waterfowl is because we make bonehead mistakes. Had the GoPro mounted to my head for that walk. It froze on me before, so I pulled the battery out, restarted it, thought I hit record, and I didn't. Just floors me sometimes. That forecasted 10 to 15 mile an hour wind they talked about sure causing a lot of ripples. And what open water I do have. A breath of wind. Oh, I guess there's a little breeze. You can tell by the weeds. Not near what we thought it was going to be.
can't get a look at it. Come back around. Give me one more. Give me one more. Probably the one look I'm gonna have. Teal comes out of the bank, flies by left or right, and as soon as I pulled up on him, I went 1-2 on my mojos. That sucks. Any other angle he comes in, we get a shot.
Well, that's a wrap on that one. Anytime I have a hunt where I don't get skunked, I'm happy. So to come out here, get out in public ground again, it's kind of lit a fire a little bit. It's got me excited. And even though the one we shot was acted like a possum on the ice for the first few hours and was a cripple, he could still fly. But hey, that's one less bird that goes to the coyotes or something like that. So I'm excited. I had a good day, good time out, me and the dog. It's a solo hunt. I enjoy solo hunts from time to time. And you know, it never fails. I pick up the decoys. I gave it 3 hours. We really hadn't seen much total. So after 3 hours, picked up the spread. Standing in the spread, and 3 geese come in. And the last group that was on our side, they were a ways away. Dropped all 3 of them. And then as I'm walking back to the truck, haven't seen it all day, but a group of about 20 mallards come over the lake. Those guys start calling and work them, brought them in, and I think there were 2 guys. I think I counted 6 shots, but I saw 8 ducks fall. So hats off to them boys for finally getting into some. That's the way it goes. When you think finally time's up, you should probably sit a little bit longer, but lesson learned. And I'm happy for them. I don't know what everybody does or if anybody's done this, but if I see something like that, I like to leave a note on the windshield, tell them good hunt, you know, good luck the rest of the year. That's what I told them boys. This is a tough day, and looked like they got into them, so good for them, and hope they have a good rest of the season. But it's another one in the books. It's not a 0 kill hunt. We at least got something, so I put that one in the win column. Weather's going to be interesting going forward. We're heading into the week before Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving is a week from this coming Thursday. This cold weather is supposed to be here for another day or 2, and then highs in the 50s. And I think the week of Thanksgiving, they're talking 50s and 60s. So kind of not a normal time of year temperatures is what's expected. So I think that's good. I think it's good and bad depending on what you're wanting to do. Now that I've hunted this and I've seen it, I'd like to try some different strategies, but I think that warm weather is going to get rid of a lot of ice. Any birds that have pushed down shouldn't have a reason to leave. They're going to, all their food sources are going to be available. There's nothing covered in snow. We should have open water for them. And we've typically had some really good years where you get some early cold weather, you see a lot of the migration, a lot of birds show up, and then you get a freak warm front, whether it's for 5 days, 10 days, or a couple weeks. And so this should be pretty interesting. I'm anxious to see what happens.